Hello and welcome to tonight's Top Gear. Well, in 1936, two brilliant designers unveiled their ideas for the people's cars of the future. In Germany, Dr. Ferdinand Porsche unveiled his Type 60, a car that was soon to be nicknamed the Beetle. It was a revolutionary design with rear-mounted, air-cooled, flat-bore engine driving the rear wheels. Now in Italy, Dante Giacosa revealed the smallest car then to go into mass production, the Fiat 500, soon to be nicknamed the Topolino. He chose to equip his car with a 569cc inline four-cylinder water-cooled engine driving the rear wheels. Now, while the Beetle is still in production in largely the same format, the Fiat 500 has obviously gone through many metamorphoses. Tonight, we test drive the latest version. Fiat's cheeky little Nuovo 500 burst upon a delighted Italian populace in 1957. The country immediately fell in love with it. People were crying out for transport, and they didn't much care how cramped the accommodation was if it made them warmer and drier than they had been on their Vespas. The 500 finally ceased production in 1975, but now, after a 17-year gap, the name's been revived for Fiat's new Cinquecento. That's 500 in English. Fiat launched the car to the world's press in Rome earlier this year, and those expecting another clockwork mouse on the lines of the 500 and 126 were to be disappointed. Cinquecento is a proper car, and we brought one to Oxford's dreaming spires to see how it performed, both as a city car and as transport round the Oxfordshire lanes. At just 10.5 feet long and under 5 foot wide, it's very compact, slightly longer than a Mini, though with a lot more headroom. Fiat say the demand for small cars has been falling off through the 1980s, but that their research indicates that trend will change from 1992 as worsening traffic congestion affects city mobility. Well, Fiat say this is a design for the city car of the year 2000, a triumphant evocation of Fiat's all-time first in small car design, whatever that means. Seems a rather strange statement for them to make when in 1985 they produced this. Now this is the Lancia Y10, launched 7 years ago at the Geneva Motor Show. You have to admit it does look awfully similar to the Cinquecento, and when you get the ruler out, the dimensions are virtually identical, give or take a few centimetres. Fiat swear there's no connection between the Cinquecento and the Y10, but you have to ask, if they designed this car from a clean sheet of paper, why did they bother to spend all that money when they got this design in their own backyard? This is the 900 version of the Cinquecento. It's fitted with an engine that Fiat describe as well proven. Certainly should be. It was introduced in the 127 in 1971, so they should have ironed out all the bugs by now. In this car, it's fitted with electronic engine management and a catalyst. Now, there is a two-cylinder 700cc version available, but they decided not to import it to Britain. There really is a surprising amount of room in here, especially given the compact overall dimensions. Though I'm not entirely convinced there's room for 3 adults in comfort on the back seat. Very simple instrument layout, although the centre binnacle is a little bit complicated. I like the way they've cut away the dashboard at the front here to give an illusion of more space, and also a useful space for oddments. Quite nice seats, but they don't support under the knee enough for my taste. I think it's a great shame they haven't continued over those excellent units from the Fiat Panda. Despite the name, the Cinquecento isn't built in Italy, but in Poland, where they've gutted and extensively re-equipped the old Polski Fiat factory that used to make the 126. Perhaps they should have called the new car the 500. That's how you say 500 in Polish. Now, the company says they've paid a lot of attention to aerodynamics in the design of the Cinquecento, and that's resulted in improvements in fuel economy and reduction in wind noise. Improvements over what isn't quite clear, since this is a new car, but if they're relating it back to the old 126, they've certainly succeeded. As we've come to expect from Fiat, truly excellent handling, light, precise steering, and an eager, press-on feel to the car. And that carries through to its behaviour in town. It threads nimbly through traffic, though on this particular car we drove, it was sometimes difficult to get first or reverse. With slim pillars and generous glass area, visibility is excellent all round, as befits a town car. And with a tight turning circle, it's easy to park in the tightest of slots. All too many small cars are marred by a choppy ride, but Cinquecento behaves well, even on one of the few remaining cobbled streets in Oxford. With the proliferation of traffic calming surfaces and speed humps in the urban environment, a decent suspension system is becoming an important ingredient in the town car cocktail. While performance figures are not that important in an urban car, the Cinquecento will do 85 miles an hour flat out in the fourth of its 5 gears and gets from 0 to 60 in a leisurely 18 seconds. However, Fiat claim most drivers should get around 50 miles to the unleaded gallon in normal driving. I do like it when manufacturers match the tone of the horn to the character of the car, and in the Cinquecento they've got it absolutely right. We won't be hearing that cheerful note in Britain until early next year, when it becomes Fiat's entry-level car below the Panda.